Welcome to Our Ladies Academy. I'd like to give you a tour of Our Ladies Academy and show you exactly what we're about here. As we come along, this is our conference room. This is where we have a lot of professional development for our faculty. Professional development is very, very important because the teachers never stop learning. Although we have a dedicated faculty that are fully certified and most with advanced degrees, they never stop learning because professional development invigorates them. So that's something that's key here at Our Ladies Academy. Straight ahead, you'll see our chapel. This is used by all the students on occasion when they want to go in to say a little prayer. And we are about to enter the preschool wing. You'll notice that preschool is isolated from the rest of the student body. In the morning, the preschool students come in the door that you just entered and come right down this hallway. I do want to say that at this time of year, especially having school closed due to the coronavirus, the school, this hallway and the whole school in general isn't decorated as it usually is with the work of the students. Normally, these walls are filled with a plethora of student work, and behind every piece of art, behind every piece of student work, there's a lesson behind it. I'd like to invite you into a typical preschool classroom. All our preschool classrooms have smart technology. As you can see, we have a smart board located on the wall, pretty low so that the students can interact with it. It's all touch sensitive. If you come here, I just want to show you, our preschool is an academic program. It's not a daycare. And I think you can, this is a classroom for 4-year-old children. You would think it was an upper grade classroom because these children are very, very capable. There's no limit to what we think these children can or cannot do. If you see here, this is a word wall. Our pre-K4 students read. Because our teachers are fully certified, they're trained in teaching reading, writing, math, all the content subjects. And this is a word wall. And what this is the teacher teaches, they learn based on the reading, the read alouds that the teacher does, vocabulary. And this is their sight vocabulary. All these words our pre-K4 students can read. So they're captured, they're put on the word wall. And every morning, they read the words on the word wall. You can see evidence of counting, of math, and it's not uncommon to see students acting out word problems. For example, a teacher might write on the smart board, 3 little piggies went to the park and 2 little piggies joined them. Well, the children come up and they act like little piggies and they wiggle to the park. The other 2 join them and then they count how many in all. Eventually, they're doing these so often that eventually they start creating their own word problems. We're continuing down the preschool hallway, and this is another preschool classroom. This is a classroom for transitional kindergarten classroom. This is a classroom for students that miss the cutoff. They're usually a little bit older. Some are not quite 5 yet. So this offers a full kindergarten curriculum, even before the students are ready, are age appropriate for kindergarten. And these children can do it. There's a lot of repetition, and we understand that some children will grasp things earlier than others. That's okay. It doesn't mean that the ones that do are smarter than the others just aren't ready yet. But with a lot of repetition, eventually they're gonna get it also. So you can see that we use a lot of anchor charts, and we use a numbers chart. This is all very typical of what would be a regular kindergarten class, but it is not. This is a kindergarten classroom. Now, from looking at this classroom and looking at the pre-K classroom, at the pre-K four classrooms, you can't tell the difference. Maybe the desks are a little taller, or the tables are a little taller, and the chairs are a little taller to accommodate their longer legs. But as you can see, it looks very much like a pre-K classroom, pre-K 4, because the pre-K classroom, the pre-K 4 classrooms, we treat like kindergartens. Their work is advanced because they're capable of doing it. Now, how do we know what the students can do? It's assessment. Our teachers are trained in giving assessments. And those assessments that they give in reading, writing, and math several times during the year, teachers use those results to inform their instruction. So I do want to say, just because a child is 4 or not 5 yet, or whatever age the child is, a child's age and grade does not dictate what we teach. If a child is ready for advanced work, the child will have advanced work. Now you might be asking, what do we do for those children that aren't quite ready yet, aren't quite there yet? Well, we have support for them as well to help guide them along. This is another kindergarten classroom. What I want to point out is that most of the classrooms, I guess until you get to middle school, are all set up the very same way. We have a rug area, usually by the smart board, where the first lesson of the day begins. That's our community area. And you find this in the pre-K 3 classroom, pre-K 4 classrooms, in the kindergarten, all up through the 5th grade. So that when students move from one grade to the other, they're prepared for the routines. The routines are basically the same. It's the content and it's what they learn that's very different, and how they learn. The pedagogy is different. Of course, we believe in hands-on learning throughout the entire school, even the middle school. But obviously, there's more hands-on learning in the preschool. It's all basically hands-on learning. Our philosophy here is that the teacher is the facilitator of the learning. The students learn from one another because you see them all grouped together in every classroom. The students have a break time, a snack time, mid-morning, and they certainly go out to recess several times during the day. They go out in the morning. Preschool will go out maybe a little later on before lunch, and perhaps maybe even after lunch. The preschool, they have a rest time, which is about 35 minutes. That's when the teachers stay in the classroom and they eat their lunch at that time. And it's quiet time. Soft music is played. They rest on their mats and they can read a little books. Believe it or not, many fall asleep because they're busy, they're working all day long. And then they go out to our wonderful playground. It's fenced in for the preschoolers and kindergartens. I do want to share with you some information about safety. That's a big concern for a lot of parents these days, as it is for schools. We have done everything possible for safety, for the safety of our children. 3 goals, major goals we have are: first, that we want the children to be safe. We want them to be happy. And if they're safe, they're happy, they will learn beyond our wildest dreams. But in terms of safety, I just showed you the playground. Besides having complete AstroTurf where they're not going to come in all dirty, underneath that AstroTurf is 6 inches of padding. So when they fall, they bounce. Since we have done that, we have had barely any injuries at all. Additionally, a school of this age has asbestos tiles. We have none. They were totally removed. So that's another safety feature. Another safety feature is right now we are on camera. All the common areas in the school, all the whole outside of the school, the whole periphery of the school, the playground, the parking lot, the gym, all those areas, they're all on camera. And I can see every part of the school from my office, from my secretary's office, and from the parish office. I also have a dedicated phone in my office that goes to police and fire. We are trained, we do our ALICE training twice a year. That's when the students are trained for alert, lockdown, and so forth. We do our fire drills. We're all trained in CPR. We're all trained in administering the EpiPen for students that have allergies. We have special locks on our classroom doors. If you come over here, I'll show you these locks. Over here. This is a lock that slips into the floor. If by chance we ever have to have a lockdown, thank God, hopefully we'll never have to use it. But it's amazing, when that lock is in place, you cannot open the door, as documented by the Waltham Police. We also, in terms of safety, we also have a registered nurse here full-time. Again, I'll repeat, these walls are not ordinarily filled with student work. Now, I do want to tell you that your children, our preschool children and kindergarten children, they don't stay in that wing all day long. They move. They go to their different classes, their special classes. For example, and I'm going to take you to those rooms that your child will be going to during a normal school day. Something I want to point out to you now. This is our aeroponic garden. Right now, it's not operating because the school is closed and we're heading into the summer. But your children have a dedicated STEM teacher: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Beyond their regular science classes that the classroom teacher teaches, they have a STEM teacher. And one of these, this is a tower garden, and one of these tower gardens is used by the preschool. And they plant herbs and vegetables, herbs all year long. And the important thing with this is they know the science of it. They know that we are growing plants and herbs with nutrients and water. This wall is our leveled reading wall. And this is used by the preschool, kindergarten teachers, and I would say by teachers up through the 4th grade. After 4th grade, they're all in novels. But this is directly related to guided reading. What guided reading is the teacher teaches all the comprehension skills, not the book, so that they can take those comprehension skills to any book and apply them. Yes, we have pre-K children, pre-K4 children that are reading, that are here. Once they're with us for a while, they might come in pre-K3. Once they're with us through the pre-K3 years, we start to see them catching on. We start to see the development of the sight vocabulary when they're in pre-K4. By mid-year, or some even before mid-year pre-K4, they're ready. And the teachers, because they are so highly trained, they know exactly when to start guided reading with those students. We're going into one of the main hallways of the school, and this is for grades 1 through 4. This is the teacher's room. And this is the nurse's office. We hope that your children never have to use it. But as you can see on the wall, those are all that's where the EpiPens are stored. Also, something I forgot to mention in terms of safety, we have 2 AED machines in the school, one here and one outside the gym. We're all trained, and if ever we have to use it, we're trained in that. I'm showing you this room, although this is for the early childhood tour. I'm showing you this because we'd like you to think about not only early childhood, but to see what your children will experience as they leave early childhood and are ready to go on to higher grades. This is a 2nd grade classroom. Notice how the desks are all together so that the children can talk to one another about the work. Remember, I said that the teacher is the facilitator of the learning. Again, you see a word wall, very similar to the word wall that you saw in a preschool classroom, just that the words are more difficult. You see the morning meeting area, the rug area, where they meet and have a class lesson. Again, this hallway is normally fully decorated with the students' work. Because of the coronavirus and the school closing, clearly the work isn't up. This is a third grade classroom. Smart board, and we have a smart technology in every classroom. We also have iPads. Each classroom has iPads. This is a first grade classroom. Now we're going to continue on, and straight ahead is the cafeteria. I will show you the cafeteria, however, preschool does not eat in the cafeteria. They eat in the classrooms with their teachers. They start a cafeteria in kindergarten. However, on occasion, the kindergarten teachers prefer to eat in their classrooms, and that's fine. I do want to tell you that we have an after-school program, and it is in the cafeteria and in preschool classrooms where the after-school program is held. We're going to continue up to the middle school area. Grades 5 through 8 come in this door in the morning. We're going to the right. And I'm going to show you the gym and the art room. Your children will go to the gym and the art room. Now you'll notice we do have a stage. This room also doubles as our auditorium. We have 3 shows a year. We have a Christmas show, an Easter show, and also a talent show. And I do have to say, the preschoolers just take over the show. They do such a wonderful job. We even have preschoolers and kindergarten students that volunteer to do solos in the shows. This is our art room. Now I am warning you, this room is pretty messy, but shouldn't an art room be messy? And when we say art, we truly mean art. The children that come in here, they don't just color. They do weaving. They work a lot with clay. These are clay donuts that they made. As you can see, one group, the older students, they're making Chinese dragons. They made these stained glass windows. They also do weaving. They work with a variety of mediums, with watercolor, oils. It goes on and on. Again, here's those special locks on the doors. They're in every classroom door. This is some work the older students were doing on perspective. All right, here, outlining or covering the walls are tiles. These tiles are made by our 8th graders. March of the 8th grade year, our students make a tile that tells something about themselves, and they leave it with us. So they leave a piece of themselves with us. So most often when 8th graders, our graduates, come back and visit, they look for their tile. On this wall, you will see a number of trophies. Those are basketball trophies and chess trophies. We have an intensive chess program here. It runs every Friday. And we have a wonderful competitive basketball program that's run by our parents. This is the middle school corridor. I do want to show you this room because, again, I want you to consider Our Ladies Academy for many years for your child. This is a conference table, as you can see. And what we do is practice what's called the Harkness method. This is a method in which the teacher establishes norms at the beginning of the year. Norms such as respect what anyone has to say around the table. It's okay to disagree with the teacher, but you can do it respectfully. Use data to back up what you're saying. And the teacher establishes other norms as well. So while the students are sitting around this table, they might be talking about an event in history, the pros and cons. They might be talking about a math problem. One student may think her way of solving it is the most expedient way. And there'll be dialogue going back and forth around that. And we start this early, in the early years, because teachers listen to students. They listen to students' conversations. They ask pinpointed questions of students, even in the early years, even in the preschool. And this is what we do to get them to this point. So in future years, when they're in a board meeting, or when your children are applying or interviewing for a position, they can speak well. This is another classroom. Notice, again, we have the meeting area. This is our technology lab. We have 24 state-of-the-art computers in here, and we have 2 3D printers. Pre-K students do not come to this this room. They start this room in kindergarten. But some of the things they do here, it is absolutely amazing. They learn to code. As a matter of fact, our kindergartners code. We have a relationship with Tufts University, and they run a coding project here with our kindergarten students, and they learn to code. And then they bring those skills that they learned here, and they do more. Other computer languages that are learned here are HTML. And I'm not a computer person, but our computer teacher is a computer engineer. So she really gets the most out of these students. They're very, very capable. And lots of times the STEM teacher, the upper school STEM teacher, we have two STEM teachers. One is an upper school STEM teacher, who, by the way, is a graduate of MIT and is an engineer, all right? And he comes in here and uses this room. And the students create or design. They do a lot of designing for projects, STEM projects. And once they're designed, they create them on the 3D printer. And then they have to test it to see if their design works. If it doesn't, they have to go back to the design stage and recreate and tweak. And then they go back to the 3D printer and create again. But this is the level of technology that we have here at Our Ladies Academy. And we start this in the early years. So when they get to this point, they're able to do all of this. As a matter of fact, we have some students, even in the 3rd and 4th grade, that are able to take some of this on. I do want to tell you about our plans for this year. This school is committed to technology, and we are also committed in allowing the students to be innovative and creative. And we set up opportunities for students to exercise their creativity and innovation. What we will be doing next year is this library is going to be moved to the lower level, and we're going to recreate this library in another location in the school. And this room is going to be a maker space. This room will have additional 3D printers. It will have work materials and tools that the students can use. It will have very large work tables for them to work on their projects. I'm taking you to Italy right now. We teach 2 languages here. We teach Spanish and we teach Italian. And you will choose what language you want your child to take. And this is the Italian classroom. As you can see, she has different vignettes in here trying to recreate what it's like in a little cafe in Italy or an Italian supermarket. The theater. And on this wall is adorned with famous sites in Italy. So they not only learn the language, but they learn the culture, the Italian culture. And the same is true for the Spanish language. Again, you see the lock. This classroom, although small, is an extra help classroom. We have an additional teacher here on board to support our students that need some extra help. This is the science lab. This room is used mainly for middle school students. This lab has 7 sinks in it for the students to wash their hands, to work on projects, and so forth. The music room is at the end of this hall, and we have a wonderful, wonderful music teacher, and he designs, creates with the students all our shows. We're going to go back down the stairwell to the main area of the school. Normally, this is the echo hallway, and the preschoolers love to come up this hallway. And in the fall, we start taking pictures, and this hallway is adorned with pictures of the students. We're back on the main floor of the building, and we're going again towards the main entrance. I'd like you to meet Mrs. G, the secretary. This is Mrs. G.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed our tour of our school, and I only hope and wish that you could be here in person, but this is the best that we could do for you. In the future, if you want to give us a call, I would be happy to give you a tour, but we have to practice distancing, and we have to wear masks. So hopefully we'll hear from you soon.